Oh, God, it's mixin'.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy MXN back once again, and we're gonna be breaking down another beat. Another week, another beat. This week we're breaking down a Lil Peep Type Beat that you guys voted for on my Instagram page. This beat uses a lot of samples from Arcade, so I'm gonna kind of break down what that's like, again, how you use that, how that might be the best, like what might be best for using it. How do you like fine tune it and different stuff like that. Now with arcade, I know that like you can, the main thing you can do is really just build in a sample and basically make your own loops. So it's like with this one, um, yeah, we'll get into all that. uh, so yeah, uh, like and subscribe down below, please. I need all the interactions I can get, guys. Trying to get monetized, so leave a like, leave a comment, give me a subscribe if you're really rocking with it, and just know that every Thursday we like starting at 6 in the morning on Thursday morning, uh, 6 in the morning Pacific time. We vote for the favorite beat of the week, and this one brought in a lot of voters. I would say, recapping the results, we had like it was like 56% for this beat, but the votes were kind of widespread. It wasn't just like, oh, one beat was receiving more or less. It was pretty close. It was a close race to the very end. So every one of those votes matters to me, guys. And if you like, put a little comment down below, like, hey, I really wanted to see this one, I might like make some more extra content for you guys. Um, so going forward with this beat, let me introduce you guys to the beat a little bit. So this is a Lil Peep type beat. If you guys are rocking with it, let me know. Here's the beat. Okay, so it's a little sad kind of beat. It's a little bit like that's the general style of Lil Peep, like a sad guitar. This one's in the scale of E minor, one of my personal favorites because it's really easy to play in the piano. But like with this particular beat, we used, like I was starting to say in the very beginning, we used a lot, and I mean like a lot of arcade samples with this one. So like I think it was all from the same pack, and I'm looking at the three here. Yep, so there's that one. So we played together. So it's that loop together with this loop. And it just kind of coagulated together just to make something unique. So yeah, like what we got here is like this together like made a nice little acoustic guitar loop. So that was pretty cool. And then we had, I think, yeah, okay, so we had these two together. And then the E note was this one. And then on here we had. So I split those up. Those are all part of the same pack with Arcade. So Arcade's cool because it's got like it's like a whole like plugin that you put in, and you like basically make your own chops. They give you the sample, it's all royalty free, all good stuff there. Not that they sponsor me or anything, but I just like them a lot. So the main thing that I really did to like kind of like make this come together is that I put this on 3 separate tracks, right? So you see I have it on the different channels. And you know, there's one way you can also do this. This is a little secret sauce trick right here. If you're trying to like make something go quickly to the mixer, if you go to you select the tracks that you want, you right click on the mixer track, then you go to channel routing or shift control L or control L, it routes it to the track. So if I have these selected, I can route this. So like I want to route it starting from this track. So I'm going to do shift control L, and you see how it populates the 3 spots there. So, but that's the way you can do that. So like that's a little trick of the trade, a little hotkey for you, you know. How's it going, Cardboard P? How you doing? Thanks for the comment. Um, so let's see here. We got that going in. Um, yeah, and the main thing is that I routed these to their own track just so I can so we can just mix it in different spots just because I want each one of these to sound just a little bit different and not clash. So it's like if I wanted to EQ a particular part of the guitar, I could do that or do this. So it's like these are all part of the same one. I could have just had them all together, but I wanted to mix this a little bit differently. I wanted to like make sure that we are, you know, not having any clashing sounds and all of that fun stuff. So I'll get into the mix a little bit more, but that was a quick little hotkey right there. So you select your tracks, and here you can just click over them or shift control. And then you can just put this right click, file, or right click channel routing, and then shift command control L or shift command L on Mac if you want to do the channel routing pretty quickly. Um, and I mean, you can also just double click on this and it'll select all your tracks, and then you can just do that from there, so they're all lined up in their own mix. Um, yeah, but we'll go into the mixer track state a little bit. So all together, the melody sounds like this. So yeah, that's the melodies right there, guys. Now let's start breaking down these drums. So the first thing, I'm just gonna play it out all together. Just mute, mute. All right. So that's what all the drums sound like together, right? And so we'll break down the hi-hats first. So these hi-hats, and I'll give you my little secret sauce about these bouncy hi-hats. This is a quick trick to make your hi-hats so bouncy. You can just do this. You can use this method. So it's like basically you just grab every opposite note and drag it down to give it that bounce. That's how it gets that bounce. And then, you know, the way that you can like make some quick sauce when you're doing your hi-hat rolls is usually do it in the parts where there's not a lot of drum space, and then like you can just hit a roll. So if you like a quarter step, so like a quarter step roll, you can just hit Control U. That's a quick hotkey to get that going. And like right there, this little sauce right here is one of my personal favorite things to do at the end of like a phrase or something like that. That's gonna be like the end of 5 bars or 4 bars. I'm sorry. I like to do this little roll here because it's like this, and that's like you know, uh, and I like to put that in every one of my beats, kind of like almost like a calling card, if you will. But like that's like that secret sauce to making it bouncy is really just putting that up and down like this with the velocity. When you play with the velocity, that's how you get it to sound like a little bit more natural and a little bit more bouncy when there's other stuff with the mix. Now getting to the kicks and the 808s, um, I used a regular kick from just a thing like just a generic sample pack. Let's see, what pack did I use it from? Yeah, this kick comes from a free pack from Bro Beats. So if you ever want to go check his stuff out, it's a kick from him. And then this 808 that I use is, I think it's just Flex. So with here, yeah, so it's just a generic sound, and I think I edited it a little bit in the mix. Yeah, I just added some soft clipper and some EQ, but we'll get into the mix later. But with the kicks here, I wanted to keep it like bouncy. So like with Pharrell, or not Pharrell, with Lil Peep, um, he like likes to have a lot of space in between his kicks and his beats, so you can let the like snare hit. So like when you hear it together with the snare, so when he has that in there, he kind of keeps his space with that. And the hi hats, it just like kind of brings it all together. And then also, I like to layer when I'm making a Lil Peep type beat. I like to layer the snare with a rim shot, kind of follow this pattern, because a lot of his beats follow this pattern right here. He has this like this off hit usually on like one of the off beats, so he hits, and then usually like around the 113 BPM is pretty good, like 110 to like 115, because you need to have it to be slow, and it's like got to give enough space for like the vocals to really stand out. Now for like perks and like rim shot, for like little perks like open hats, crashes. Just bring everything back. But yeah, like so for crashes, just a simple crash like we'll do from any kit, usually like at the start of every 8 bars. And the open hats here, I just did this. I like to do those open hats right here twice on the fourth count, just because I like to lead that into the next phrase as well. Um, so yeah, that's what we've got going on with the drums up to this point. Um, so yeah, we've got like all the drums together. I'll play that out once again.
Oh, God, it's
Yeah, so there's that. So that's pretty much all of the instruments that I've used. It's not like anything out of the ordinary for like my beats, but I guess like the rim and the snare shot, I didn't put like my typical like uh this kind of pattern in here. So like this pattern, if you remember. from like the last couple of weeks. So it's like something I usually put in, but this time I kind of left it out because with Lil Peep Type Beats, it's much different kind of vibe and energy that you're gonna get with it. So all together, it sounds like this. So yeah, that's the entire beat right there. Now I'm gonna kind of go into like some structural type stuff. So like I said before, when you're doing a little peep type beat, you want to be like right around 110 to 115, maybe 117. You don't want it to be too fast. You want it to like be able to like be like riding it out and like just being vibey and chill, and like you're always gonna want to have like kind of a sad guitar, sad melody of sorts. Like you could be a piano, it could be a guitar. It doesn't really like matter because like on Lil Kennedy, it's always a it was a sad piano. With everything else, he's kind of had like a nice guitar melody or something like that. Um, just to like kick back to his like emo rock kind of roots. Um, then you go into let's see, when I go into the structure of this to like keep some room, I took out the main like backup lead for this one, if you remember. Just to like give it more space.
Oh, God, it's MXN.
So that just gives it more space. And like I've always said with doing beats and different stuff like that, you really want to make sure that you're giving a lot of space for the artist to do their thing in the mix. And I've also like tried to like explain with this. You want to like with a verse, you just want to like take things out that sound good to you and like build it up so that you can lead back into the chorus. Like I left the 2 bars empty here as I generally like to do, and then I like led back into the hook with that, and then had a nice little outro for this one, so it really ties up nice together. Um, so that's pretty much the structure. It's just an 8 bar intro, a 16 bar hook, 24 bar verse, another 16 bars on the hook, and 8 bars with an outro, and then I just left a little tail end there just to make sure that it like would give off the right energy. Now let's go into the mix of this thing, right? So some mixing quick tips here. So I've already talked about the channel routing and how that kind of works. The reason I split these up at the beginning is just because I wanted to like make sure I could add a light chorus on this particular guitar. Um, because without it, right, without the chorus on that guitar, it just kind of sounds dry. This gives it a lot more breath and like space to like reside in. And this one put a similar chorus on it, just a little bit heavier on the effects with it so that it would like come through as more of a lead guitar as opposed to something like it's like, oh, this one sounds like way different and cool. Now with the vocals, there was a lot of stuff I had to do to this because like if you remember when I first had it, it just sounded like this. Where is it? There we go. So that's very dry. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't so dry. So when we did this, so the vocal for that, what I did is I just did a simple vocal rider to make sure all the vocals were being balanced because there were some quiet parts in the vocal chop that it had. Like some parts were way louder. So this just kind of like meets it in the middle. So everything's like not gonna be too loud or too quiet. Then I just EQ'd it, had a cut at a sharpness part that I thought was cutting through the mix weird, raised up the higher frequencies and cut out the lower frequencies. Then I added some drip to it, just used the lo-fi drip and then like kind of edited it just to like put the overall mix down. This is a cool preset if you've never used it before. It's pretty awesome. So like without the drip, it sounds like this. Still pretty dry, but like more balanced, obviously. But now with the drip on, gives it that more wet feeling. And then you can use, I use a compressor here to bring all the sound back. It just also balances it out over the course of the whole track. Then with the rest of the mix, I put a kick. I edited the kick a little bit. So initially it was kind of just, it's a cool kick, but like obviously like it needed some work. So I edited it, just put a lot of like raising the EQ and the lower frequencies and cut off the little higher end that was like glitching. And then put on the soft clipper just to make it like electric. Just to make it hit hard like that. And then with the snare, didn't really do anything with it. Rim shot, didn't really do anything with it because it was already pre-mixed, as you can hear in the reverb section. And then with this one, this is the open hats. Didn't really need to do anything with that because that was mixed. Then the 808. So I put some EQ and some saw clipper on that. So it's like obviously it sounds different because it sounded too synth bassy like that. So I had to raise the bass, cut out the lower end, and like raise the lower mid just so I could get that sound. Now it sounds a lot smoother, less like a synth bass and more like a 808 that you're used to hearing. And then put some distortion with the soft clipper on it just to really raise the level on this. And then the crash, didn't really have to do anything to that too because it was pre-mixed. One thing that I like to make sure you know how to do in a mix. Wait, what here? Yeah, I guess like also the main thing with a mix is like what you really, really want to do is pay attention to leveling. Leveling can like really like make or break your song. So I will say that leveling will really make or break the song. So it's like you can see I just got it hitting all at the right spots, and it's like it sounds like a well balanced mix. And like I've said, leave room for the artist, and this is like a good way to view it. If you have like a nice mastered beat, you should see all of this room right here for the artist from 125 all the way to the 1600 hertz. They should just be getting all of this space to like bring up the track to their level. So they got like a lot of dB space to make up and a lot of room in this track to really put their vocals together. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're making one of these kind of beats. Uh, so like with Lil Peep, like this is my Lil Peep Type Beat. What do you guys think down below? Let me know what kind of beats you want me to do in the near future here. Um, yeah, so we're like right at like 25 minutes. So make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing. I really thank you for tuning in today. Yeah, guys. So we'll just keep doing this thing. Vote on my Instagram. It's going to be in the description of this video where to vote. It's always going to be on my story. Thursdays from like 6 p.m. Pacific or 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern, all the way to the next time on Friday morning. So, yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in today. And yeah, we'll call it a stream. All right. Peace.